I'm Chris, and on this channel, I offer tips, guidance, and new perspectives on anxiety and OCD based on my own recovery. So, today I want to discuss if OCD is genetic. Now, the story that we are told by the mainstream is that OCD is a genetic condition which can only be managed through pharmaceutical intervention. But I want to question if that is actually the reality. Now, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a biologist or a chemist, so I don't know exactly what's happening inside the body. But what I can tell you is that I went from an anxious and OCD person into a calm, happy, and optimistic person. And at no point throughout my recovery did I take anything to affect the chemistry of my brain in regards to reducing OCD. What I found to be true for me is that I was thinking and behaving in anxious or obsessive ways. I had been programmed so deeply by society, which will give you as much negativity as you're willing to accept. And that became the software of my brain. My unconscious mind would run these stories in my head, but they were stories that were programmed with fear, doubt, and pessimism. So I spent time reprogramming my mind. I taught myself to think more positively, to let go of control, to learn to keep my body and my mind calm. And what I found is that once I started to adopt these new thinking patterns, OCD kind of just let go a little bit. And that's when I knew I was on the right track. I then put a lot more effort into exposure therapy. I started living life more courageously. And the more I lived my life and the more I learned to think optimistically, the less OCD and anxiety had an effect on my life, until I'm at a point now where mostly I don't have anxious feelings and I don't have obsessive or what if thoughts anymore. Occasionally they pop up, but I'm able to quickly let them go now, um, without them being able to hook my attention. So I'm not sure what's happening inside the mind, inside the brain. But there's an area of research which I'm fascinated in called epigenetics, which is above genetics. And it's been proven now that our beliefs control our biology. So by learning to think in new ways and believe new things and allowing those old beliefs that I had to crumble away and building more positive and optimistic ones, perhaps the chemistry in my mind changed. But either way, I refused to be a victim. I refused to continue believing that I was helpless in my recovery from OCD. And I believe that that is the reason why I managed to recover. Not because of any pharmaceutical intervention, not what any doctor told me, but because I was willing to be brave. I was willing to take risks and find out things that I didn't necessarily think would be true to begin with. But as I progressed further and further in my recovery, things started to change and my perspectives changed. So that is what I found. And I'm hoping to spread messages like this to get more people to realize that there is a way out. They can find calmness and happiness, and they can let go of obsessive and intrusive thoughts and endless bouts of anxiety. I know because I'm the proof this is possible. So follow me on my journey as I talk a little about what it is that I did, how I learned to think differently, and the techniques that I used to bring myself towards calmness.